The day I saw that photo, I thought heartbreak would be the worst thing I'd ever endure. I was wrong. Losing my boyfriend to my best friend was only the beginning, a small crack before the darkness underneath finally showed itself. I discovered a stranger behind the man I once loved, and in the end, I would risk everything to save the very woman who betrayed me. This is my story. Before we dive in, don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel for more African folktale-inspired stories. I found out on a Tuesday afternoon. Not from Marcus, my boyfriend. Not from Zainab, my best friend since high school. I found out from a photo that someone sent to my little sister, and she showed me with shaking hands. It was Marcus and Zainab. At the new bar in town. His hand was on her leg. She was laughing and throwing her head back, the same way I used to laugh with him. The messages under the photo made it worse. Zainab, girl, I've wanted him for so long. She never treated him right anyway. Unknown number. But that's your best friend. Zainab, not anymore. Some of us know how to keep a man happy. I stared at my phone until the screen went dark. I could see my own face in the black screen. Plain. Nothing special. That's what I'd always been next to Zainab, with her expensive hair and her body that made every man look twice. When I asked Marcus about it, he didn't even try to lie. You were always too busy, he said, crossing his arms. Your job, your family, everything except me. Zainab knows what a man needs. But we've been together for 3 years. And she gave me more love in 3 weeks than you gave me in 3 years. He walked out and closed the door softly. The same door he'd walked through 1,000 times before. But this time was the last time. They wanted to see me cry. I know they did. Zainab started posting photos right away. Marcus with his arm around her. Marcus kissing her forehead. Marcus buying her expensive gifts, things I never asked for because I thought we were saving money for our future together. My phone kept buzzing with messages from people feeling sorry for me. Are you okay? I can't believe she did that to you. You must be so hurt. But nobody expected what I did next. I smiled through all of it. 2 weeks later, we were both invited to the same wedding. I showed up in a beautiful dress that made me feel strong. I'd started going to the gym not to make them jealous, but because hitting a punching bag felt better than crying. My hair looked good. My makeup was perfect. When Zainab saw me, her smile disappeared for just a second. Girl, she shouted loud enough for everyone to hear. You look so good. I'm happy you're okay with everything. I hugged her back and felt her body go stiff with surprise. I'm doing great, actually. Really great. I saw her eyes get small and suspicious. This wasn't what she expected. She thought I'd be crying, shouting, making a scene. Instead, I congratulated her and Marcus with a calm smile that I'd practiced in my mirror many times. She's faking it, I heard Zainab whisper to another friend. She's definitely crying at night. Let her think that. Let them both believe I was broken inside. The truth. I was healing. It hurt, yes. But I was getting better day by day. 3 months went by. 3 months of watching Zainab's Instagram showing off her perfect relationship. 3 months of me working hard and getting a better job, moving to a new apartment, and becoming someone I actually liked. Then Zainab started texting me again. Zainab, hey. Can we talk? Me, about what? Zainab, Marcus is acting strange. I need your advice. I almost laughed out loud at her nerve. But I was curious, so I agreed to meet. We met at a coffee shop. She picked it because it was public. She looked different. Thinner. Her hair wasn't as neat as usual, and her nails weren't done. He keeps disappearing at night, she said, mixing her coffee over and over. And he goes to this house in Oja area. When I ask him about it, he gets very angry. Maybe you should trust him, I said coldly. Didn't you say you knew how to keep a man happy? Her eyes filled with tears. I know I hurt you badly. I know. But something is very wrong, and you knew him longer than anyone. I should have left right then. But something in her voice stopped me. Fear. Real, deep fear. What kind of wrong? He has strange things in his car. Red cloth. Bottles with weird things inside them. And last week, I heard him on the phone saying something about the final one and she's perfect. My body went cold. Zainab, what exactly did you hear? She whispered very quietly. He said, she's so desperate to keep me, she'll do anything. The native doctor said this one will complete it. 4 women. The 4th one finishes the ritual. I didn't want to believe it. Rituals? Blood money? This was Marcus, boring Marcus who always complained about traffic and watched football every Sunday. But Zainab's fear was real, and somehow I found myself agreeing to help her find out the truth. We parked outside the house in Oja that Friday night. Marcus came at 11 p.m., carrying a bag with bottles that made clinking sounds. He was dressed all in white, which made me feel scared. Through a broken window, we saw them. 5 men sitting in a circle with candles burning, chanting in Yoruba language. And in the middle, there were photographs. 4 photographs. I knew the first 3 right away, girls Marcus dated before me. 1 girl had gone missing 3 years ago. Another died in a strange car accident. The 3rd one went mad and now lives on the streets, talking to herself. And the 4th photograph was Zainab. I covered her mouth with my hand before she could scream. Marcus's voice got louder. This one is ready. She's carrying my child now. Her greed, her betrayal, her desperation, all of it makes her the perfect sacrifice. When the full moon comes in 3 days, it will be done. I will have more money than I can count. Zainab fell against me, and I felt wetness on my hand. She was crying. And she was pregnant. We went to the police station first. They laughed at us, 2 women with a crazy story about rituals and killing. Do you have proof? They asked. Real proof. We had nothing they would believe. So we went to Zainab's grandmother, an old woman who still knew the traditional ways. She listened, and her face got more serious with every word. When we finished, she stayed quiet for a long time. This man is working with a powerful native doctor, she finally said. But there are powers that are even older. You have 3 days. If he finishes the ritual, the girl and her baby will die. But if we break his plans, if we turn his own magic against him. She told us what to do. It sounded crazy. Dangerous. But looking at Zainab, the girl who stole my boyfriend, now holding my hand like I was her only hope, I knew we had to try. The next 2 days were crazy. We collected special items, followed the grandmother's exact instructions, and waited for the right moment. Zainab barely talked except to say sorry, over and over, until I told her to save her energy. We'd need all our strength. On the night of the full moon, we went back to the house in Oja. Marcus was already there, getting ready. The grandmother had given us a drink, it tasted terrible and made us want to throw up. It will hide you from spiritual eyes, she'd said. For 1 hour only. Not more. We sneaked inside, Zainab shaking so much I had to hold her steady. Following the grandmother's plan, we put special items in the 4 corners of the room where Marcus did his rituals. Mirrors. Salt. Herbs wrapped in red cloth. When Marcus started his final prayer, we were hiding in the shadows, watching. He held Zainab's photograph, a piece of her hair, and something dark I didn't want to look at. By this woman's betrayal, by her greed, by her ambition, he said, I take her life for money, her child for power, her soul for. I stepped into the circle. Everything stopped. Marcus's eyes went big with shock. Wrong woman, I said. The moment I broke the circle, all the mirrors we'd placed started working at once. Suddenly Marcus could see them, the spirits of the women he'd killed. They weren't gone. They'd been waiting, trapped, angry, and hungry. The native doctor's protection around Marcus broke like glass. People say Marcus ran screaming from that house and never stopped running. Some fishermen found him 3 days later by the water, unable to talk, looking like he'd aged 20 years in 3 days. He's in a mental hospital now, drawing circles on the walls, crying about shadows that won't leave him alone. The police investigated after the grandmother made secret phone calls about the house. They found enough proof to connect Marcus to the missing girls. Justice came slowly, but it came. Zainab had her baby, a girl. She named her Ifiolua, which means God's love, because she said it was a miracle they both survived. She sold everything Marcus ever bought her and gave the money to the families of the other girls who died. She moved back home with her parents. She apologized properly months later, when the baby was born. Not the desperate sorry from that terrible week, but real apologies, looking me straight in the eye. I can never fix what I did, she said. I destroyed our friendship for a man who was planning to kill me. I thought I was winning. I thought I was taking something valuable from you. You did take something, I told her. But maybe I needed to lose it. I was so comfortable, so safe, that I never saw who Marcus really was. Or who you'd become. Can you ever forgive me? I looked at her, really looked at her. She'd lost everything. Her pride, her best friend, almost her life. But she'd also learned something, humility. Wisdom that came from almost dying. I don't know, I said honestly. But I don't hate you anymore. That's something. Sometimes I think about how close I came to being the fourth photograph in that circle. If I'd been more desperate to keep Marcus, if I'd fought harder for a relationship that was already bad, it might have been me instead of Zainab. Zainab sends me messages sometimes, always respectful, never assuming we're friends again. Photos of her daughter. Updates about her therapy sessions. I reply politely but keep my distance. We'll never be what we were before, but we're not enemies either. We're two women who survived the same evil man, in different ways. I got promoted at work. I'm dating someone new now, a kind man who makes me laugh and never makes me doubt myself. I take self-defense classes now, and I trust my gut feeling when it tells me something is wrong. At night, though, I still sometimes wake up thinking about those photographs in that circle. About the girls who weren't lucky enough to survive. About how jealousy and greed and desperation can make you blind to the monsters who look like someone you love. People say what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. I say what almost kills you teaches you to pay attention. And I'm paying attention now. To everything.